What's going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Nerdsmerized. Today, guys, we are going to continue our journey into the world of Game of Thrones. Today, we are going to continue with season number 3, episode number 6, titled The Climb. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get right into this one. So Samwell and his new little family are on their way to Castle Black to get away. After the Lord Commander was killed, Samwell's taking his new little family and they're heading towards Castle Black to save them. And so they stop up for a little bit and they start setting up a fire. Then we flash over to Asha and Mira actually kind of having a competition on who knows how to skin rabbits better. And, oh, did you learn that? Oh, north of the wall? Yeah, I did, bitch, and my shit's better than yours. Fuck, they're just getting crazy with each other. It's pretty funny. But you know what? Bran is not having that shit. Bran shuts that shit down real quick. Then we see Jojen actually having like a vision, and it looks like this dude's having a seizure. He starts shaking, his eyes are whited out, he's just having a vision as a warg, but it looks like he's having a damn seizure. His sister goes over there, puts his belt in his mouth to kind of like help him so he doesn't like bite down and bite his tongue and stuff. So she helps him through it, but it's pretty crazy. When Jojen comes to, he tells Bran, I saw your brother Jon. He's over the wall and he's surrounded by enemies. Like, fuck! Now Arya's showing off her shooting skills, shooting a dummy in the chest, the dick, yeah, and then the head. I mean, she's got skills, but then the guy from the Brotherhood's like, you know what? You're good, but you're not as good as you think you are. So he gives her a little lesson and shows her like how to breathe with it, how to release. Don't hold your bow back too long because then you lose accuracy. And she's like, how are you supposed to aim? He's like, you don't aim ever. You just know where the bow's supposed to go, where the arrow's supposed to go, and handle it. Melisandre shows up and buys Gendry from the Brotherhood. So yeah, she gets 2 big old sacks of gold, gives it to the fucking Brotherhood, and Gendry gets taken away. And Arya's fucking pissed. So she gets up in Melisandre's face like, what the fuck you doing, bitch? Taking my mans? Like, what the fuck you doing? He's not for sale. He wants to join these people. He wants to join the Brotherhood. And she like stops and she looks at her and she tells her, you know what? Like, I see in your eyes, when I look at you, I just see other eyes looking back at me. Green eyes, blue eyes, brown eyes. And it looks like those are all the eyes you're going to silence and you're going to close forever. It's fucking dark, but then we know that's what Arya wants and that's what she's going to head towards. She wants to kill some fucking people. And this just proves that she actually is. Melisandre sees it in her and sees the future in her. So we go to the wall and Jon and the rest of the wildlings are climbing up the wall and they're making some progress, but I mean, shit, this is a crazy vertical, like 700-foot climb. It's crazy on ice in a crazy solid wind, ice cold wind. So damn, it's probably freezing up there. So on the climb, you see that they are on their climb still, and the guy at the top actually just cracks off a chunk of ice and throws it down, and everyone else avoids it, but it cracks Jon in the face. And he's like, you should look out. Like, it was just kind of a test, like he wants to fuck with Jon. But yeah, Jon's playing it off pretty cool, even though he just got cracked by a big chunk of ice. Fuck that guy. Plus, fuck all that. I don't do heights, so we're good. So Theon is still being tortured by this son of a bitch, and we still don't know who this motherfucker is. And he's just torturing poor Theon. I really feel bad for him. I mean, shit, man. So in a turn of events, even though he wasn't all that into it, to make up for Robb needing Walder Frey's help, since Robb betrayed Walder Frey and married his Hyena, Talisa, now someone has to marry one of his daughters. There's got to be an even trade out of this. So our shitty archer from the first part, when we see Catelyn's father being put out to be burned in his pyre, yeah, his bitch ass is now going to have to marry Walder Frey. He's all, is she pretty? Like, he doesn't want, he's all like reluctant about it. But then like Robb like insists, like, motherfucker, I'm your king. You need to do this shit. This is your duty. You fucked up, wasted a bunch of our soldiers, couldn't hit the fucking pyre like a jackass. You get married, motherfucker. All right, so then we see Lord Bugden talking to Jaime. He tells Jaime, you will be returning to King's Landing. Hopefully your father will give us a great reward and remember this. But he tells him, you're going to be returning without Lady Brienne. So, yeah, you're fucked. And so Jaime's pissed. Jaime's like arguing with him about it. And then he just like gets shut down. Lord Baldwin's like, shut the fuck up. King's like, you don't got no fucking pull here, bitch. Shh. All right, so then we get to go to a very interesting conversation between Grammy Tyrell and Mr. Tywin Lannister himself, the big daddy of the Lannister clan, and he says, okay, well, yes, Sansa's going to be married off to Tyrion, so Loras is going to be married off to Cersei. And she's like, bitch, motherfucker, that bitch is old. Like, she's too fucking old. Why are you going to give our best fucking warrior, our prettiest fucking man, away to this old bitch who's already had her time? Fuck her. And Tywin's like, no, motherfucker, this is gonna happen. Like, he's basically telling her, this is what's going down, bitch, and you're gonna agree to it. She calls his bluff, stands the fuck up, grabs his quill out of his hand. He's about to write the orders to get them married, and snaps that bitch in front of him and puts it down and walks away like a G. I swear to God, if any moment in time those little gangster glasses need to drop down, thug life. Now, back at the wall, the climb is still going on, and there is a big crack. Ygritte actually puts her spike into the wall, causing a giant crack that knocks off all her homies to the right. They all fall to their deaths, and the chunk from below her and Jon fall out. So her and Jon are just hanging, swinging there. She's trying to hold him, and the guy up top, the warg, is actually like, fuck that, we're cutting these motherfuckers loose. And he starts to cut them loose, starts to cut Jon and them loose just in time. Jon's swinging, trying to save their lives. He gets to the side of the wall and is able to stick his spike into the wall, and Ygritte falls and he catches her. And so luckily they're alive, but I think Jon's going to beat the fuck out of that motherfucker from cutting him loose. So then we go back to Sansa and Loras having a little discussion about their marriage and what's going to happen when they get married. They don't know that they're not going to have an option to get married, that they're getting married off to other people without their consent. But yeah, at this point, they think they're still getting married, and so they're talking about it. And Loras is totally gaying out. Like, if she couldn't tell that he saw more dick than Haynes, I mean, shit, at this point, she should understand he wants this wedding and is excited for all the colors and flowers and everything. He's super excited for this wedding, way more than Sansa is. So, yeah, he gay, girl. But then we flash to Cersei and Tyrion, who are actually up in the tower above the courtyard where they are at, and looking down at both of their future husband and wife. And yeah, they're talking about like, they're not going to be happy about this shit either. And Tyrion's like, I'm marrying a fucking little girl. She's 14. What the fuck? That's disgusting. And she's like, I'm marrying that little fag. I'm just like, wow, okay. Cersei, your bitch ass should be lucky if anyone wants to touch that, because your ass is used and abused all over the place and incested like a motherfucker. Then they start discussing who's getting the worst deal out of the four of them. And automatically you would think it's Sansa because she's having to marry a dwarf. But you know what? Tyrion is a good guy. He really is a good person deep down. I really think Loras is getting fucked over bad. I mean, it's not like she's going to fuck him anyways. Cersei only fucks her siblings and her family members. Disgusting. Then during their discussion, he actually finds out, Tyrion discovers through Cersei that Joffrey was the one that ordered him to be killed at the Battle of Blackwater. So that scar across his face is his stupid ass little inbred nephew's fucking fault. And fuck that guy. Then she sits back and reminisces about Jaime, and she just thinks about what his dick's looking like right now and how much she misses it in her mouth. Okay, so then we get to see Joffrey's wedding is coming. So Sansa is trying on her gown that she's going to wear to Joffrey's wedding with Shay, and Shay's putting it on her and helping her out. Then Tyrion comes to the door, and so she covers up real quick, and Tyrion wants to speak to her in private, but she insists, no matter what you have to say, you could say it in front of Shay. I trust her. So at this point, this shit is getting very fucking awkward because Tyrion's like, shit. So Varys and Littlefinger actually meet in the throne room as Varys is sitting on the goddamn throne. They meet in the throne room and they're kind of talking about their aspirations and what they hope to achieve in life. And then Littlefinger's a little bit of a douche and realizes that Ros has been talking to Varys and feeding him information. So he tells him, well, your confidant is no longer going to be an issue. I've actually given her to a friend who wants to try something pretty new. And yeah, so she's not going to be an issue anymore. She's gone. And so that fucking friend that he turned out to give her to was Joffrey. Joffrey's sitting there holding his little gay crossbow thinking he's a fucking hard ass because he has a fucking weapon that can do it for him. pussy. And we flash over to Roz, who's tied up to his fucking bed and has been shot over and over with this crossbow. This stupid little son of a bitch. I liked Roz. She was a fucking gangster. She knew what her shit was. She knew how to handle her shit, and she knew how to work her way through being a whore and up out of that shit to be a powerful woman, just to be given over to Joffrey to be murdered. Fucking piece of shit. I want to kill him more and more every fucking episode. Then we see Littlefinger's ship starting to pull away, and we see Sansa standing there with Shay crying her eyes out. So apparently, Tyrion gave her the news that he's going to be her new husband and not Loras. So she's pretty pissed. She's upset. But you can see Shay is just stone-facing it. Like, she doesn't give a fuck. She's like, fuck that little bastard. So then Jon and Ygritte actually finally make it to the top of the wall. The other guys are already up there getting shit together, and Jon and Ygritte make it to the top of the wall. When they get up to the top of the wall, it is pretty awesome because she's never got to see anything over the wall. She's never got to see the view from up there. And so they walk over to the Westeros side of the wall, and Jon they look over the beautiful, beautiful Westeros and everything that's going on out there, and they just start making out. And it's a really touching scene as we pan out, and it's just a gorgeous view of Westeros. Super excited that she got to see that and they got to experience that together. Hopefully he can turn her around and not be such a crazy bitch, but still be herself, because she's a cool ass character. Now, my favorite parts of this episode were probably when Gendry got bought out by Melisandre from the Brotherhood and got to give Arya a little sneak peek into her future and tells her that you have all these eyes that I see when I look into your eyes, that you're going to eventually be the one responsible for closing. So God, I want to find out who the fuck these people are that she's going to kill that are that big and that heavy hitters in the world that it's going to make that much of a difference. Guys, I really loved this episode. It was great, really, from start to finish. A lot of crazy stuff happened. But guys, let me know your favorite part of this episode down in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the videos we put out every week. And make sure you guys come back and see me next time for some more Game of Thrones videos. All right, guys. Peace out.
Yo.